What is going on? So, there's been a lot of Blade&soul videos coming out, of course. It's a new MMORPG that's been out in Korea for a while, and it finally came out to Europe and North America. And I'm seeing, obviously, by this time a lot of people are starting to hit the level cap, which at this current point in time is technically level 45, but they have 5 Hongmoon levels, so technically it's also level 50. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to say level 50, just purely for the sake of this video. That's not the technically correct level, but that's what we're calling it for now. So a lot of people are starting to wonder, like, by the end game, how to make money, because currently, you can see down here, I've only got 3 gold, 34 silver, 87 copper. I had about 12 gold, and then I had to do some weapon breakthroughs, and that shit's expensive. Once you get to like the end game portion, you finish the main storyline, things like that, it starts getting really expensive. And just to show, so right now I have the stage 9 True Profane, and if we do manage equipment, so my next breakthrough is going to cost 12 gold alone, just for basic costs, plus I have to have Moonwater Transformation Stones. And those things, let's check the auction house. They're probably running around 6 gold each, I would assume. So let's see. Oh, come on. Okay, so yeah, about 6 gold a piece, and you have to have 4 or 5 of those just to upgrade right there. So it's roughly about 30 gold. So technically, to break through my weapon to get it to the Awakened Siren Dagger, it's going to cost me roughly, of course with fluctuation in the market and prices, things like that, it'll cost me roughly about 50 gold, we'll say, just to break through my dagger. 50 gold is a lot. A lot of people are like, holy hell, how am I supposed to get 50 gold to break through my dagger? And it just gets worse, to be completely honest. Like, to break through on your necklace, same thing. 13 gold, and you have to have 5 transformation stones. So again, roughly about 50 gold there. It's the exact same thing for pretty much every other piece of equipment. Your earrings, same thing. 13 gold, 5 of the transformation stones. Like, it's just ridiculous. So basically, each piece of equipment you see here to break through is going to be roughly about 50 gold a piece. So how do you make that gold is what everybody's trying to find out. You know, some of the guides, or most of the guides that are out, are before the new release on the 10th of February. And there's been a couple here and there, but a lot of people are still confused on how to do things or where to go. So right now I'm just in Nightshade Harbor. That's just where I got to. So here is the best way that I can explain, and I did a decent amount of math here. So essentially I tried to take into account all of the endgame portions. So if you do the PvP dailies, which are available at just about any like PvP location on the map. So if you go down here, there's the PvP at Lucian's Tower. There's a PvP in the Hogshead pasture. There's a PvP board there. There's PvP boards all over the place. If you do the dailies for like the 1v1, the 3v3 tag team, things like that, the win 1 PvP match, participate in 3 PvP matches, those ones, there is roughly about 5 of those dailies for the PvP, and that will get you 55 silver, and I also totaled the XP amounts, but for the sake of right now, I'm just going to discuss the money. So just the PvP daily alone, you'll get about 55 silver, so half of a gold. Then you have Mushin's Tower, which if you're at that point, if you haven't gotten there yet, you'll get there, don't worry. But at the Mushin's Tower dailies, they have the first one, which is like the trial, which is floor 1 through 4. You get 58 silver, and then you have the Monsters of Mayhem, which is floor 5 and floor 6, which gives you 67 silver. Then you have the final trading, which is floor 7, which is all the European and NA release have right now, is up to floor 7. That gives you 1 gold, 15 silver. So in total, from just the Mushin's Tower dailies, floor 1 through 7, you can get almost 2.5 gold. So 2 gold, 40 silver. And that is down here at Mushin's Tower. If you don't know how to get there, there's a guy inside of Hogshead I can't remember exactly where he's at, but he's inside the town in Hogshead, and you just talk to him, and he's the one that actually gets you the unlock to get to missions. Then you have the Black Ram Shipyard, which are these two up here, and the one here, if I'm not mistaken, is that the chain one, I think? Yeah. So Chain Exchanger, and then you have the Defeat the Venomous Thrasher. Those two will get you 1 gold, 68 silver between those two dailies right there. Then you have the East Fleet Supply Chain, which is probably one of the more lucrative options besides Nightshade, but I'll get to Nightshade in a second. But this is going to be one of the more lucrative ones, and probably, to be completely honest, one of the easier ones to run. Doing all of the dailies, which you can see there are quite a few, so there's about 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, so 6 there. So between those 6, you will get 2.5 gold for doing those dailies. Then you're going to jump over to Nightshade Harbor, which is just down here. You have to give the guy the little neuron coin, and he brings you down here. And there's a shit ton of them down here. So 2, 4, 6, there's 8 dailies, or I guess technically 7 dailies actually. So for those 7 dailies, and this is the most lucrative right now. Like if you want to make just straight gold, these dailies will net you the most gold at 3 gold and 6 silver. So if you think about it, between the East Fleet Supply Chain, so the one with Poe, or doing the Poe run, as well as the Nightshade Harbor, just off that alone, you'll get 6 gold, 10 silver. Just doing those dailies in that area. Not factoring in the dailies from here, the PvP dailies, the Mushin Tower dailies, factoring none of those, these two alone will get you 6 gold for your dailies. Then you also have the dungeons. So when you do the F8 and it takes you to the dungeon lobby, and actually we'll just go there now for the sake of explanation. So doing the dailies, right now I'm only taking into account like the main ones that people are going to run. Obviously there's a whole list of dungeons that you can do, but the main ones that people are going to do are these first ones right here, the 2 purple and the 4 blue, so these 4 dungeons. So if you run these 4 dungeons, I don't know if it's different for 4-man, I'm not too sure, but if you do it with the 6-man run, you will get approximately 2 gold and 23 silver for doing those ones. Now, these numbers might vary a little bit. This is the best that I could find. So these numbers may roughly vary, but it shouldn't be off by a lot. It might be off by a little, though. And then you also have the faction quests. And I'll actually leave here to show you where those faction quests are. Now, I am on the Crimson Legion. I don't know if it's different for the Cerulean Order, but I couldn't imagine it varied too much just for the sake of keeping things fair and balanced. So if you are on the Cerulean Order, you know, bear in mind where you need to go or exactly what you have to do might differ. But for the Crimson Legion, if you do the Misty Wood dailies, which are essentially, I guess, like the last dailies that I know of, until maybe you're like higher ranked, they're over here. It's all still located on the Eastern Continent in Moonwater. And it's just all the way over here. You can just click in there, and it's right down here. So when you go down there, I believe there's roughly 5 or 6, so you'll get about half of a gold there, so roughly about 50 silver down from the quests over here, because there's also one for Blackworm, but a lot of people don't do that one for Blackworm because that's a really long fight. I mean, it's got 91 million HP, so that's a really long fight, so I'm not expecting a lot of people to take part in that one. So, but you'll still get roughly about 50 silver. So to recap, at this point, doing all of the dailies from Mushin's, the East Fleet, the Black Ram, Nightshade Harbor, your Crimson Legion or Cerulean Order dailies, and your PvP dailies. If you do everything in the final area, you will make roughly 13 gold, 38 silver, 50 copper. Roughly. Again, these numbers might be off by maybe half a gold or maybe 1 gold roughly. But another thing is I also calculated the experience total from doing the quest that gave you XP, and you'll make about 112,140 XP from doing all of your dailies, like the end game dailies. So essentially what you want to do is log on every day, run the dailies from this final area over here. So basically if there's a daily in this area, just do it, get it out of the way with, go over to Misty Woods, do your faction dailies, also to get your faction rank up, the insignias if you're working for like your Moon Wanderer Soul Shield. So get all those out of the way. Then if you're not into the whole PvP thing, like it's not that big of a loss, it's like maybe half of a gold that you're missing out on. So it's nothing ridiculous. You are missing out on a decent amount of XP. I think for those dailies it's about 15,000, almost 16,000 XP just for doing the PvP dailies. But if you're worried about money right now, not so much XP, you're not really missing a lot. If you don't like doing the PvP in like the arena, that's fine. It's only about half of a gold. And then F8, do those first 6 dungeons, the 4 blues and the 2 purple, and that will get you roughly about 2.25 gold on that as well. Now if you just have a lot of time, maybe you're just having like a marathon and you're just playing all day or something and you burn through those in, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours and you're looking for something else to do. I haven't really timed myself personally, so I'm not really 100% sure approximately how long it'll take. I can imagine the dungeon runs are somewhere between like half an hour each, and you're doing about 6 of those. So I would imagine that the dungeons alone, depending on your group, how quickly they clear, how knowledgeable they are, will probably take about 3 hours maybe, but the dailies usually go way quick. Like you can probably clear this entire area and do all your dailies if there's enough people on to help kill all the bosses. You could probably do those in like an hour, depending on, again, like the bosses and how many are spawned and how many people are there to help them, or help with them. So if you're part of a clan, see if anybody's down to do some runs in a couple of areas, try to get through those as quickly as possible. That would be my best recommendation for that one. But in case you've cleared everything, like you don't know what to do, there are a couple of other options to make some money as well. One of those options would be doing your, I guess, crafting would be the best way to explain it. If you're part of like the crafters, you can sell quite a few items for a lot of gold. An easier one to do, because everybody wants to get the transformation stones, because those things literally will sell for like 6 gold a piece. But that thing is really expensive to get into, and apparently it's actually really hard to get the recipe. I guess it's like a drop in one of the dungeons, and the drop alone has gone for like 60 to 70 gold just for the recipe. Then you also have to get all of the things to craft it, plus the cost of having them make it. Like, it's incredibly expensive to get into that. But one that's a little bit cheaper is doing like unsealing charms. So that might be a good option. And I mean, if you look, see how much unsealing charms are going for right now. So you figure you make 50 unsealing charms. I think you can make them in like a bundle of 5 or 10 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you can make them in bundles of 5, and the time required to make those is 12 hours. So if you just sit there while you're doing your dailies or something, or after you're done doing your dailies, get an order of unsealing charms made, and then when you have like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever you want to do, you can just sell them. I mean, these things are selling for a lot as well, because a lot of people burn them early in the game, not realizing they don't really need them. So this guy, 50 for 5 gold. I mean, that's really not that bad. That would be another option. Obviously there's a ton of gathering and crafting guilds that you can join. Others will net you more. Like, I know the ones for the Mary Potters, the ones where you have to make items to talk to, what's his face? fuck, man, what is his name? Keep forgetting. Old Man Cho, I think it is. Yeah. So to get like the item to talk to Cho, like the purification jars and the bells, you can craft those things and sell those things on the market for a pretty penny. Because those things are really rare drops apparently in the world. So if you can craft them and sell them, that's another option as well. If you're earlier in the game watching this, you're not quite to like max level yet, one thing that I would say to save yourself money so that you have more by the time you get to the end game, do not use your unsealing charms on items that you don't need. That was a mistake that I made, and I wholeheartedly regret that. Just like unsealing stupid shit that I didn't realize I wouldn't need later on. It's not necessary. It's really not. And then also when you get drops and things of that nature, if it's something that's tradable, so like there's obviously a bunch of things like you'll see here on the outfit, it'll say unable to trade, so it can't be sold on the auction house. Things that are tradable, like if you get weapon drops or weapons that you've already got, if you sell that thing on the auction house for like 2 silver, if it's going for like 2.25 or something and you undercut and sell it like 2.15, that's another way to make money. I mean, if you sell it to somebody like, you know, any one of these like merchants or something, they'll probably give you 10 copper. Would you rather take 2.5 silver or 10 copper? Like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to list it. You have to pay like, you know, an X amount of money depending on how much you're selling it for. But if you're selling it for 2.5 silver, it's like 10 copper to post the sale. And then if you just go to any mail person to pick up your sales instead of like doing the instant delivery, you get all the money. There's no delivery fee for having them instantly bring it to you. So that's another option as well. And I apologize if it's kind of boring, like I'm not really doing a whole lot on screen, but I wanted to mostly focus on getting the point across and not getting distracted in game. So that is another good option, you know, drops, weapon cases, or, you know, the weapon crates that drop from the bosses, things like that. You know, if you've got extra keys, like I saved my keys and right now, like I don't really use them for a whole lot. Every now and then I'll use them, but it's nothing crazy. So if you have extra keys or something, or you're starting to hoard keys or still have some of the Hongmoon keys from the very beginning of the game and you just want to maybe burn a couple, just unlock some of the like the higher level weapon chests from the boss drops and dungeons and things, and just sell the weapon if it's tradable, because you know you can make 2 silver from selling it on the auction house and spending 10 gold to post your sale, or 10 copper to post your sale, or you can sell it to a merchant and get 10 copper, or you can just drop it and get nothing. So it's little things like that that you can do to get more money and to make more money that I personally didn't do in the beginning, and I kind of regret that. So, but I just wanted to mostly cover like what the dailies will net you now that the Nightshade has been released to EU and NA. And some of the gold opportunities for higher level players that are kind of sitting there twiddling their thumbs like, how the hell am I supposed to afford all these transformation stones that are like 6 gold a piece? You figure you do every single daily on time, get, for math's sake, we'll say about 13.5 gold, do it for 5 days, you can pretty much buy any number of transformation stones that you need to break through just about any piece of equipment. So yeah, you're gonna have to grind it for a week, but you'll have everything done. So it's kind of a trade when you get a free-to-play MMO. Sometimes you have to grind a little bit. But that's all I really wanted to say on this, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. If I made some mistakes, I'm sure I probably might have made a mistake somewhere. I was writing down a lot of numbers for like XP and gold and traveling to all these different areas. I might have accidentally accepted a quest and didn't count it in the count, something like that. So if there are any mistakes, please let me know so I can make like an annotation in this video. If you have questions on where to find things, or if something on your map differs from my map, please feel free to leave a comment below, let me know, and I'll do the best I can to try to help answer. I'm not exactly like a Blade&soul guru, god, masterful knowledge encyclopedia of the entire game, but I have a decent grasp on the end game on what to do to try to help. So if you guys liked the video, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Appreciate it.